Hello, I'm Adam J. Morgan and welcome to Late Night Ghost Stories. This week I'm talking to the Spookettes, a Kent-based paranormal group who also likes a little bit of urban exploring. Evening, ladies, and did any of you want to introduce yourselves?
Good evening. So my name's Spookette Amy. I'm one of the Spookettes.
And I'm Donna, one of the Spookettes.
I'm Ruthie, or Flo. I'm Kaylee, but prefer to be called Kay. I'm also Donna, not the same one, obviously. Also known as Doe. I'm Cheryl, also known as Shez.
Amazing. And before we go on to talking about ghosts, how did the Spookettes come about? Who come up with the idea?
Well, we've all been going out together doing paranormal for a long time. But then I had the great idea of doing a surprise hen party for Donna, who is Doe, at the Ancient Ram Inn. And then that's when the Spookettes were born that night. We decided then to name ourselves as the Spookettes.
So before that night, had you all been into the paranormal before that?
Yeah, we've always done it, gone out together for years and done paranormal.
And did anyone see a ghost during the investigation? Was it an overnight investigation or was it longer?
Our first day was for 13 hours.
Yeah.
And that was in May. And we've just come back from the 37-hour stay there.
That's incredible. 37 hours.
37
We
hours.
could have stayed there longer.
We did want to stay longer, didn't we?
Yeah.
So talk me through how it sort of happens. Do you do the research of the location before you turn up, or do you go in blind, knowing nothing about the location?
Well, it's been on my bucket list. Yeah, I mean, the Ancient Ram Inn, it's a bucket list thing for any paranormaler. Each of us do it a bit differently. Like myself, I don't research anything before I go anywhere. But then there's some of us that really can't help themselves and gets really excited and has to look into absolutely everything. So we all have we all have very different styles as to how we approach it before we go to any location.
And what happened during your stay? So if we start with the investigation that you did in May, did you experience anything?
Not really.
It wasn't really.
It
It wasn't until we come away and looked at our evidence that we was a bit like, whoa.
Yeah, well,
We
you
need
got
to go
upset,
back.
didn't you? Yeah. Donna got upset when we walked into the witch's room. She felt quite emotional, didn't you?
That was quite a powerful hit walking in through that door.
Yeah.
Is that something are you normally a little bit psychic on locations, or was that a complete surprise?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not.
So when you say you were upset or having that feeling, talk to the listeners and explain how that felt for you.
It was like a whole wave of different emotions. Fear, sadness. I obviously I didn't know where we was going, being that it was my surprise. So it was a bit of a shock anyway, but it just felt so different compared to any other room in the building. It was kind of like walking into a door.
And what did you make of the bishop's room?
Well, initially on our first night, so whenever we go out on a bit of an investigation, me and Ruth always get in trouble because we're the ones that always have the giggles and we tend to muck around more than the rest of the Spookettes.
We're the energy of the group.
Yeah. And on the first night that we went there, Ruth jokingly went, "You've got to knock on the door," and picked the cane up and knocked on the door. She opened the door and we all went, "Oh, wow, that's amazing." Closed the door and I was like, "No, let me have a look." I went to open it and Ruth went, "No, you've got to knock on the door." And I basically told her in a few nice words that I'm not doing that. But the door wouldn't open. So, yeah, it was, I did have to eventually knock and the door actually did open. Whether that's paranormal or whether it's just coincidental, we did have a good laugh over it though, to be honest. But yeah, I think the bishop's room for me, I quite like it.
You slept in
I slept. and I slept like a baby and I snored.
It's quite interesting actually, because John Humphreys, the owner, who sadly passed away a few years ago, would advertise the Bishop's Room as the most haunted room in the Ram, and a lot of Google searches and other investigators who have been to the Ram will say that is the most active. Personally, when I went to the Ram, it was the Witch's Room and the Mayflower barn on the ground floor, which I felt.
The barn.
I mean,
And the attic.
have they changed the name now? Is it just the barn now? 'Cause it used it used to be the Mayflower barn, but obviously
Still known as it, Mayflower. Yeah, we just called it the barn.
yeah, it's probably the same location, but we had a lot of things like stones dropping in there and noises. It was a very strange, for me, the barn was a very strange place.
Yeah, it ain't too comfortable.
I think for each of us, we all have our specific rooms that we really, really don't like. For me, I hated the attic, and I had to do a lone there. Rufy weren't a fan of the barn, but you ended up with the lone vigil in there.
Yeah.
For each of us, I think there are certain rooms that we're just really, really not keen on. Because we feel it differently, I think.
Shez don't like the attic.
Yeah, you don't like the attic, do you, Shez?
Yeah, with the ancient Ram Inn, it's centuries old, isn't it? So there's a lot of history throughout the different centuries. Different people that's lived and died in the Ram, ate and drank, and some people staying there for the night. Some even highwaymen, stories of highwaymen. When the church was being built in Wootton Under Edge, just up the hill from the Ram, allegedly the builders were housed at the Ram whilst that was going on. So it's full of history, and also it's allegedly on a pagan burial site.
Well, when we done the 37 hours, we done a detour, didn't we? And we went to the Hellfire Caves, then on to Stonehenge because of the ley lines, the Ram. So that's what we were
hoping it would wrap the energy up, visiting Stonehenge before going there.
So now you've mentioned the Hellfire Caves, you've got to talk to me about your experience there. What happened when you went to the Hellfire Caves? Was it as amazing as everyone states it is?
It is really, like, I've wanted to go there for years. So when we actually decided to go there, I was so excited.
It wasn't disappointing.
No, it weren't disappointing. Like, the atmosphere, the further you go in, like, it's really creepy. I was being silly.
The heaviness of going further into the tunnel, it was.
And then you got that photo of the mist behind me when I was being silly, hiding in the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is amazing in there. I really, really want to go and investigate it properly. 100%.
Yeah, that's obviously when we went, it was during the day, and there were other people in there as well.
Okay. So
really
was it more like a tour that you pay in and go in for like a few hours?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But it's pretty cool in there, wasn't it?
I mean, it really is to look at. I mean, the faces carved into the walls and the doorways, and just how the structure is itself is it is absolutely amazing to look at. But there are some areas where you do get your really heavy chest, and we would like to go back and do a full investigation where there's no one else around us, because we're a bit selfish like that. But yeah, it was definitely a good place to go and visit. And you know, we followed on from High Wycombe, we went over to Stonehenge, and then followed there up to the Ram Inn.
Yeah, and I think that's sensible what you've said about doing the investigation on your own. I don't think that's selfish. I believe that when you do it on your own, you trust. I'm assuming you guys trust each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so if you do it with a mixed group of people you don't know, any sort of evidence you get, you'll always be questioning on the way home. Was that the other group?
When you're with another group,
it's always. I think that's the best way to do it. And talking about you as a group, what would you say to people that makes you different and stands out from all the other hundreds of groups out there?
We're a bunch of nutters.
I think it's more, you know, we're very open. We are very honest. like when we went to the Ram, when you watch the YouTube videos, there's always table tipping, you know, there's a Ouija board going on, and it's always like shock horror because something spectacular's happened. If we do those sorts of experiments and we don't get anything come from it, it is what it is, and that's what we put out on our TikTok and on our YouTube. Yes, we tried it, we got nothing back from it. Good luck to if somebody else does. You know, we're not. I trust these girls 100%.
Yeah. Say we're different.
We're not fake.
No.
Yeah.
I think what does make us unique, though, is probably our bonds and our connections, because we are like a group of, we are best friends, soulmates. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, soul sisters.
We're not just like a group of people that just want to go out. Yeah, we want to prove that paranormal does exist because we do believe in it. We know it's there, and we want to make the non-believers believe.
We don't do it for fame.
We don't do it for anything.
So so that was my next question. What is the group's goal? I'm assuming you want to provide evidence that ghosts exist.
Yeah, and to find a place where we are genuinely scared. We haven't found one yet.
I was going to say, have you found anything yet to sort of prove that? What's your best evidence you've found so far, would you say?
Oh, best evidence?
I think everyone's got something different, haven't they, really?
Oh.
So has any of you actually seen a physical ghost? You've seen something like a spirit or a ghost?
I've seen a shadow figure.
Yeah, I see shadows.
And where was that?
The shadow figure that I saw, like the first time I ever saw it, was in an abandoned hospital. Well, abandoned asylum. And there was a shadow figure at the end of the corridor.
How did that make you feel?
I did. I kind of backed off and said I ain't going along there.
Right. So what kind of equipment do you guys take? I know you obviously film some of your stuff because I've seen it on YouTube. But do you use any of the other gadgets that are out there?
We've got spirit boxes, K2s, music boxes, dowsing rods, pendulums, cat balls.
It's a bit of everything. The laser grid.
You're covering everything.
Yeah.
And obviously your own senses as well.
Yeah. Just a small arsenal.
But that is what it is. We want to be scared, and that is why when I was arranging the hen night, that's why I thought, let's go to the Ram Inn. Let's do it.
Because of what we'd heard.
Yeah, I wanted us to get scared, and we didn't think we would last the 30 hours.
Well, then we go back. People see an all-female group and they think, oh, you know, they're going to be scared easily and
screaming
and screeching. And we have yet to find somewhere that makes us do that. Yeah. And we are open to suggestions.
It does sound weird, but the first time we went to the Ram, I don't think there isn't one of us that walked out of there going, that was really scary. I think we all felt so relaxed there.
It was.
And it was like, we've got to go back for a second time, and it's got to be longer. We're going to have to sleep there. And we still come away going,
we need to go back for longer.
The Ram has got more to give us.
We've even said about going for a week, didn't we? On our way back.
Easily stay there for a week.
Yeah.
Wow. And that would be very, very expensive based on how much it is for one night.
But it would be very, very worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, that's how we see it.
And we're mums, so, you know, it's a holiday.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I love the Ram. I've been there countless times, and I've over the years I've found quite a lot of evidence. I still have never seen a ghost. I've been sort of stroked on the face. I've had stones. I've had names whispered in my ear. I've had loads of stuff happen, but no, I'm after the same goal as you guys. I want to see a ghost, and I want to capture it on camera to prove that there is life after death.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did capture that big old shadow at the pub that we done.
Yeah,
in the cellar. We did catch that on camera.
That was kind of tall, that was.
You what?
You need to add them to the YouTube.
Oh yeah.
There's places that we've done that need to be added.
Yeah.
So when you talk about YouTube, how can people find your videos?
At the Spookettes.
And
With a capital T and a capital S.
so anyone listening now, you need to follow, subscribe, like the videos, share the videos. How many have you got on your channel at the moment?
Not a lot. We're more on TikTok. We've got 1,200 followers on TikTok.
And that's and that would be the Spookettes as well.
That's the Spookettes as well. Yeah. We've only got 35 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. We need more. Come along.
So that needs to, that you need to, obviously, like you say, you're doing the right thing. You're being honest, you're being grounded. And I think what people will like about it is the fact that you've made it very clear that if you don't get any evidence, it is what it is. So if you go to a location that promises the world and it's flat and you get nothing, then that's what people will watch. So that means when you go to a location and you do capture something, that should make it very, very credible.
Yeah. Nothing will ever be fabricated.
Yeah.
It'll all be.
I mean, there are some things that, I mean, when I was at the Ram and I got stuck up in the attic due to the stupid game Ruth made us play.
Why is it always live?
Which was all streamed on TikTok live. The one room I didn't want was the attic, but
you chose your name, and
I did. I actually pulled my own name out and the attic. I pulled it out myself, so I'd done it to myself, but ultimately it was Ruthie's fault. But when I was up there, it was in the dark. I had my torch because, you know, people that were viewing us, they needed to see what was going on, but we didn't want to have the lights on. And I did catch a light that went past my eye. Now, I can't say that was paranormal. I can't say it was, you know, a fly or something that's caught it. It made me jump. And I think it added to the fear that I had, knowing that I hated that room. But the fact that I can sit here as scared as what I was in that room and say, I don't know, normal. Anything we do post, it is what it is. Like, it's not much around.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I've never ever witnessed.
I think I would go as far as saying that K2 and the way it was responding to our questions, and it was intelligent response. I might actually say that was probably the best evidence that we've actually ever gained.
But that length of time, 45 minutes, just like a 5-minute flash of light.
Yeah.
It went on for a long time.
That's why we had to get her out, old Doris, out of the Estes, because she was doing that.
And there was nothing coming through the Estes, and it was the K2.
But yeah, the K2, I think, definitely tops it all when you think
the most simplest piece of equipment. Yeah. And it gave us the best results. I think that's what made our 37-hour when we were there at the Ancient Ramin last time.
So, are you all believers, or is there any skeptics in your group?
No, all believers.
I
think you have to have a degree of skepticism, don't you?
Being open-minded, I think.
Yeah.
I'm quite quick to debunk things as quick as possible because, to be honest, again, I think it's selfish that I don't want to be scared. So if I debunk it, then it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, but you tried to debunk the door shutting on Cheryl.
And yeah, but I still say that, though.
No, because the doorstop wouldn't have moved that way.
Went sideways.
The doorstop went sideways.
It did not
always agree.
And, you know, and that's the thing, we don't always agree. I mean, we never fall out with one another.
I believe 100% that door was shut on Cheryl.
I believe about 55%. I'm on the thing.
Yeah, but the door, you know, the door between, you've been in the Ram, haven't you? So, you know the door that leads you to the men's kitchen?
Yeah.
Right, we had a rock and I think it's an old sheep, isn't it? We had that on the door to keep it open while we were walking back and forth through it and whatever. And we were just leaving my solo from the barn, and we're all going through the doorway, and as Cheryl walks through the door starts to shut on Cheryl, and like obviously we all stop and we're like, oh, well, you know, did that door just start shutting? Amy straight away says, no, it's on a
spring-loaded door.
And we said, right, okay, that's debunked, you know. But it weren't until we got home and I started going through the evidence and reviewing through it that I noticed that the doorstop, the sheep, actually moved
the opposite way to the door. So if the door was shutting, surely this doorstop would have come with the door, not the other direction.
So talk to me about the doorstop. Was it quite a heavy thing that would hold the door in place?
Cast iron figurine
of a sheep.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
really-
goes under the door. It goes under the door as well, and then there was a big rock there as well.
That's really interesting.
But what I don't get is, like, the door is opened to the right, to our right, so it's open right, and the door stops in front of it. Now, if the door was going to come, the door stop would come with it.
Yeah.
But the door stop went forward as the door come back.
So it sort of like turned.
Yeah.
It was like it was being turned to allow the door to close
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah, and we've got that on camera.
Yeah.
As it moves out and comes towards you.
So I'm assuming if you go
fence.
to the Ram Inn to investigate again, you'll be focusing on that door.
Yes, we will want to try and debunk that.
100%, yeah.
We also need. I'm not going to shut up about the cat balls. Oh
You had a cat ball. You saw the cat ball come flying off the side, didn't you?
I picked something up from down.
We're waiting on that from Caroline
and
from our
I've
CCTV.
seen the flash of the cat ball. Now, if it fell off, it would have gone down. But it shot off.
Yeah, it went across the road.
Yeah, it was like it had been flipped.
Yeah.
I went cat ball.
But we didn't have a camera rolling on it.
No.
So we missed it.
Did
I
you
have
any-
asked Caroline for it though, from
That'd
her
be good.
CCTV.
So she's got CCTV now, has she, running? So that's really good. So
Yeah,
it should
Hopefully.
that'll line up with.
We find it.
yeah.
But it will be just our luck. One of us is standing in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I think I've shut up after that then.
Probably me. Probably me. No, because I was on the stairs. So it weren't me. I weren't standing in front of it.
We also had the shadow in the mirror, didn't we, of the witch's room?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Because you literally stood there and went,
Yeah.
one photo,
It was like
two photo.
Yeah, but I made sure that none of us could be seen in the mirror when I was taking the photo because I didn't want reflection.
The only one that was close, I think, was Kay's, and she was wearing the orange hoodie at the time.
Yeah, you had your hoodie on, didn't you?
Yeah.
And she was sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
So just for clarity on that, you guys were taking pictures in the witch's room, and you had something in the mirror.
Yeah. It was me taking photos with like a proper camera, not off my phone.
Do you have those
And,
pictures? Do you have those pictures that I could flash up on the screen to show people?
Yeah, I can send them to you.
Fantastic. You'll be able to see that by editing magic right now. So talk to me about the picture. What could you see? Or what did you feel you guys
We were all
could see?
sitting in the room. Again, I'm going to take a load of photos. It's dark, so I'll say flash before I take the photos, so I didn't want to blind them.
I was laying on the bed.
Yeah, Doris was laying on the bed.
Knows not to move.
Yeah.
When someone
I mean, all of our locations. So you were on the bed on the right-hand side. I was sitting in the armchair. You were stood right
I was
next
standing,
to me.
over by the
Then
fireplace.
Hayes was sitting on the other bed.
And I was
Joe
sitting
was
on the other
sitting there as well.
Yeah, and you
was
I was at the table
At the
by the
table.
door.
Yeah, just bed, so I couldn't see anyone or myself in the mirror. I took 2 photos in literally seconds apart without moving. One photo, there's nothing there at all. And the next photo, there is a hooded figure in the mirror.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's
Were
the
any
one.
of you wearing like hoodies?
We all had our hoodies on, but have our hoodies up. And
Right.
the only person that had a hoodie up was Kate, but her hoodie was orange, bright orange.
You can actually
It was a Lion King Oodie,
Yeah.
to be exact.
you can actually
Yeah, you can see Kate.
So where is the mirror exactly?
So the mirror is in the witch's room, and it is in the middle of the window that backs onto the road.
Okay.
And we had the curtains closed, and the mirror that you can see the figure in is the centre mirror. So that would only show something that is standing directly in front of that mirror.
Yeah.
Because if it was one of the side mirrors, you could say it's one of us. But because it was the one directly in front, and we all knew each other's whereabouts, we can't give an explanation to that.
So what happened?
So we can't debunk it.
Yeah, did you see it on the night, or did you get home the next day and start reviewing the photos and then spot it?
When I got home, I started going through my photos, and that's when I saw it.
I bet that creeped you right out.
Well, the hood itself, you'll see when I send it over to you, it's pointed.
Yeah, it's not like
a hood like what we've got on our hoodies.
It's almost like a witch's head.
Yeah, it's pointed like a
bum
hat.
Yeah.
Like a
I
monk's
want
sword.
people now, when they can see this picture, to comment below and give their thoughts on what they think it is.
Please do, because I mean that's what we ask any of our viewers on our TikTok and that. If we can't find a reasonable explanation, then we will ask you what you think of it.
Yeah.
Because and we try to debunk as much as we possibly can. There's some weird things that have happened to us that we can't quite explain, but there are other things where we're like, do you know what? No, that's not possible.
The cars out the front, when Flo and Amy was like walking in front of the mirror window. Can you see the reflection?
Yeah,
Can you see a reflection?
yeah, because on the live, one was saying that there's a shadow moving in the men's kitchen. We left the camera running while we were out. We went to go and get some food for our dinner, and we left the live running inside, and we let the viewers get involved and ask them to set off objects and whatever. But they kept seeing shadows, didn't they? And when we came back, you and me, didn't we? We stood there and we were outside the building walking past the window to see if we can recreate it, but we couldn't. And then we realised,
because we were on the live and they were going, there's a shadow now, and we're like, no, that was a car.
You're right by the main road. Depending on where you stand in the ram, like the bishop's room backs onto the main road as well, doesn't it?
It's live running in the men's kitchen, so where the car passed, because that's sunk and it's higher, it was casting a shadow onto the window, which looked like a shadow on the live. So we, straight away we were like, no, we'll check that out, and we debunked it. It was definitely cars.
Yeah, I know the men's kitchen. If you're down in the men's kitchen, you're literally basement level from the main road, aren't you? Yeah, I remember that.
It's just catching like the bottom part of the car, wasn't it?
So moving on from the ram, is there any other locations you guys have got lined up for the future?
Yeah. I mean, we have got quite a few locations that we're not going to disclose where they are.
No, that's absolutely fine.
But they will appear on our TikTok and on our YouTube. We have got one booked. We can say that one, can't we? No, we can. The True Crime Museum in Hastings.
Oh,
what we've got for April.
I'm not familiar with that one. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about the backstory on that location?
Well, Hastings as an area, it was notorious for smuggling gangs back. So there's a lot of rich history. Obviously, 6 being one of them. And this particular museum has got lots of artifacts from true crime. So there's a barrel there that was used as an acid bath. So electric. There's the electric chair that's there.
I want to do a solo in.
So we're hoping that what we'll be able to gather is some sort of residual energy that's attached to some of them artifacts.
Yeah.
And we'll see what that night drums up for us.
That sounds amazing.
We're doing a sleepover there.
It is another sleepover, yeah.
We don't leave until 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, in between 7 and 9.
Before we started recording, we briefly talked about some of the other locations you've been to, and you mentioned the Screaming Woods in Pluckley. You need to tell me about that, because it's on my wish list.
The Screaming Woods roof.
Roof went screaming.
Bit of a disappointment, wasn't it?
Well, no, like when we went there, we'd gone to the St Nicholas's Church next to the Black Horse, where the Derring family are, and we were in there and we were getting quite a lot of activity. One of the spirits was like wolf whistling through the spirit box at us and telling us to spend the night and stuff like that. And then I kind of fell over a gravestone. And then we went to the the Screaming Woods, and I didn't like it. I felt very like I was being watched constantly. I did not like it at all. I didn't witness anything. Nothing scary happened to me, but I just didn't like the feeling and the atmosphere there, personally.
Was it just you, or did anyone else sort of pick up on that atmosphere?
I don't know, did you pick up on the atmosphere, Donna?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's creepy looking anyway, but I mean, when you think of the Screaming Woods, you think of actually people screaming, but it's not actually people screaming.
It's the foxes.
It's the foxes, and that's where they get the name. It gets the name as the Screaming Woods. But I think with the history behind it, and that there is Oakley being, you know, one of the most haunted villages.
Really.
We didn't really find an awful lot there.
We had more activity at the brickmakers.
Yeah,
Just about,
yeah. Certain areas around Pluckley is a bit more creepier than others. And we've had some strange photos and such, which unfortunately we do not have access to anymore. But I think Pluckley does have a lot of attention, media attention, as well as hype.
Yeah.
And we didn't find it as evidence giving as what we was told it would be.
Yeah. I think that's for like most locations. If you have a location that's named as one of the most haunted locations in Kent or England or wherever, it then gets that hype that, you know, people are expected to be thrown across a room. We've never really experienced anything to that magnitude. We've had the subtle bits of, you know, the think there. But yeah, I think when people start hyping it up and it gets a lot of attention, people's expectations are a lot greater than what they're actually able to witness and achieve.
Well, I'm going to round off now and say that I've absolutely loved talking to you guys. You sound like you're all full of lots of personality, and I like the fact that you're all very honest. And I'm hoping you get lots of followers, lots of subscribers, and you carry on posting your videos. And I would love you guys to come back on the show in, say, 6 months' time.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm hoping by then you've been to more locations and we can start talking about those as well. So, but thank you so much.
100%.
Thank you for your time.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.